This is old Cam.
And this is not a spring chicken. We've got a lot of things coming up which are really, really exciting. Especially, are you ready for this? If we get to. We're trying.
Okay.
Yeah, the Cannes Film Festival?
Yeah, we got a 50-50 shot of going to the Cannes Film Festival. We're not going to know until April, but you know, this is still March when this one's done. But, you know, we need to go over there because we'd be the only people covering the Cannes Festival in 3D.
That's true, we probably wouldn't be home.
Yeah.
It also means, what's the weather like at that time of the year?
Nice and warm, which means more swimsuits on the beach. And you know, there's two added attractions for going to the Cannes Film Festival. One is you can actually wear the smaller swimsuit bottoms. And two, there's no top required on the beaches in France.
Oh, well actually, could we be able to film? Well actually, over there you could.
Yeah. Because, I mean, they used to, in the good old days, the Cannes Film Festival, women used to walk down the street, walk down the beach with totally nothing on because every young starlet would do her walk down the beach naked, so.
Well, that's how they got attention, wasn't it?
That's how they got attention. Well, there's a lot of stuffed shirts at the moment over there. But during the Cannes Film Festival, the stuffed shirts tend to vanish a bit because you know, Cannes is a sleepy resort most of the year, but during the film festival, it brings out all of the golden people, you know, the jet setters, the Hollywood elite all come.
Oh, and they have a really good time. In fact, last year, do you remember the name of the actress? She made a splash and got everybody's attention by doing what?
Yeah, we do the same thing.
I know. That's
you know, actually, one of them jumped out of it. I think they parachuted into the water with nothing on. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, that was one they did, but most of them is just, you know, they'll get in the fountains with nothing on, or they'll wear something transparent. It's the naughtiest time of year at Cannes. So we're trying to fill out the press forms, actually, you know.
Naughtiest time at Cannes, but see, part of it is you know, the Grammys tend to get a little bit, I mean, first of all, you have the Academy Awards and the Golden Globes that are more conservative, traditional. Grammys a little bit more trendy and fun, and and then there's the Cannes Film Festival.
I know, but you imagine, you know, seeing Not a Spring Chick with no top on. Wouldn't that be something? Yeah. They all saw that. So.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they all saw that. So. I'm looking at the monitor. If I could see it, then everybody else gets to see it. So, to see if anybody pays any attention. But no. And then, like I said, she can wear her bottoms that she can't wear in this country. You know, because this is a beach legal bottom. But over there, their beach legal bottoms are a lot smaller than ours. That's where they sell the tiny string bikinis over there. The beaches, the swimsuits.
I could get lots of little bikinis then.
Yeah, they actually can wear the suits they sell over there on the beaches, unlike the United States. And then we'd probably go up and down the coast more too while we're there. I mean, the festival is like 9 days long, I think.
That would be a lot of fun.
So, but you go to the press things, get that report live from there. Because I checked, you know, press rooms have, you know, it cost, I don't know what the cost is going to be, 4,000 members of the press and 1,200 cubicles for the press to work out of.
Well, you know what, that kind of reminds me of CES.
Yeah.
Although CES doesn't really have cubicles, it's just got like this. Well, there are a few cubicles. It's like a long table.
NAB has cubicles, which we're probably going to be going to the NAB this year also, you know, as guests because the restrictions on the press are too much. So we'll probably go as guests and do the same thing that they wouldn't allow us to do as press, which is asinine, folks. I mean, these guys are approving people that have nothing to do with the broadcast industry. You know, we're on continually. We supply 3D to channels all over the bloody world, but we're not involved in it. We're not involved in the broadcast industry because we're those nasty people that are online.
Ooh.
Which is funny considering you got to see how many invites we're getting for people that are involved in digital business. Digital meaning online sales, and all over their form for being a, you know, for being a member for being an invited guest. You know, online, do you want social networking, do you do streaming video, you know, just walls of online, and they totally hate online upstairs at NAB.
I know.
With a passion they hate them, but That's what we're doing. And also, the very same week, we got, yesterday, we got the Long Beach Grand Prix, Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach yesterday.
We're going to be busy.
Yeah, lots and lots of work during that time. So, you know, we're going to be lots. You know, we shot the Grand Prix last year in 3D. The problem was, like they said, like one of the race stewards said, he had never seen such an example of precision driving in his life on the race day, and nobody went around anybody. So what I have is I put together 30 minutes of video into 10 minutes, because the only time you have cars passing was in when they were basically just running around the course to break the cars in. And there was no passing in the race. I mean, 2 hours of no passing.
I know.
So it was,
which means you could catch them on any lap, because
any lap, you see, no matter where you went, you catch the same. You know, just that they're same cars. I mean, you know, but and the problem is too is that this is the earliest we ever got asked. You know,
I know. I still can't believe that. I mean, you've never been asked that early.
No, it'd be because there's only 16 cars, only 18 cars on the field.
But that was the quickest
16.
turnaround we've ever had.
Yeah. Because it's becoming, well, a lot of what's happening is in the race car business, they're now selling the rights for people to cover events. I mean, here's a good one. You can go through organizations and get a ticket now to, you know, an ordinary person to go do the things the press used to be able to do.
Oh, that's right, because you can buy photo passes. Remember that?
Yeah, and I thought that was amazing.
And the photo passes, they have separate areas, so anybody that has a pass can go in that area and get better shots than if you were.
And if you remember the press, which is because we have seen them and some of these things. The prime shooting locations are now sold to the public, not to the press, which basically tends to piss off the press. And then, you know, they have a lot. That's because the racing industry is basically suffering horribly. Well, there is no recession. Everybody is spending money like you can't believe. There's so much money being spent that, you know, that every race car out, I mean, they're running 3 times as many cars as they would normally run. The drivers are making so much money, and there's nothing but wall-to-wall patches over all their uniforms and cars from all the ads they're selling.
Well, you know, part of it is a lot of, look at that face. Yeah. There's a lot of drivers that don't have rides this year.
Some of the biggest rides, some of the biggest names in the industry do not have rides on NASCAR or the Indy, you know, or any of these things, because the advertisers are not there. They do not want to put their money into racing anymore because it's expensive, and you know, and you know, most of the time the things are so small you can't see them when they zip around anymore. It used to be with what happens is that the networks that are broadcasting it will outfit X amount of cars with equipment, and you know, and they'll basically chase other cars. But if the driver is contending, he's basically not. You know, you're not seeing anything but a tail end and going by. So. Well,
you know, last time when you were talking about precision driving, I swear it's like they were practically bumper to bumper.
Oh no!
I mean
the guy,
they might as well be pushing each other.
The guy said, I mean, pure and simple. The steward said, "This was he absolutely meant it. This is the greatest example of precision driving. Like he'd been doing the racing for like 30 years. He never seen driving like that because that was skill. But he said it's not what the people want to see."
Kind of boring.
It's boring. It's just.
But it's you know, great precision driving.
Minute after minute after minute of cars, you know, right on one. If there'd have been an accident anywhere along the line, they'd have probably taken every car in the race out of the race. Yeah. But it's just, you know, it's just. I mean, I also heard one guy said. He said, "Do you think Hulk Hogan has anything to do with the Indy League now?"
What?
Because because professional wrestling is basically all so staged.
I know.
It's rehearsal after rehearsal after rehearsal. But I can guarantee, you know, so that was just being facetious. But if you saw the practices, they were not practicing precision driving. These guys were practicing put your foot on the floor and go past everybody. You know, it was funny. The best shots we got were before the race.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, the best ones we got were before the race ever happened. No, it's just the way it is. It's just it's if from I think it's, you know, from a driver's standpoint, that had to be a god awful strenuous race because, you know,
it takes a lot of focus for that.
It takes a focus because you're on the other person's. Okay, you're directly on the tail end of every car. one mistake, and it is a disastrous mistake. So you've got, it's just, you know, you got to eat, you're basically eating everybody's, you know, I mean, imagine how much weight they were lost, the exhaustion that these guys had racing like that.
Because they lose, I mean, literally, it gets very warm in there, and they lose weight every time they do racing.
Yeah, I think they lose, you know, 5–10 pounds of weight in there, because they're wearing heat suits also. And it's just,
although I don't know about the women. It's the men, it's because of the perspiration.
well, women basically are light to begin with, so you know, they don't think they perspire as much. But it's still, mentally it's a strain for somebody. I mean, it's just, I mean, like, people get pissed off at Danica Kirkpatrick because she really gets tired of people crashing her into her car.
Well, you know, I would get tired of that too.
You know, but I've seen her to be a fairly nice woman. She just wants to win.
Well,
and you know, she wants to win more than most of the male drivers, because
she does. She just wants to win.
Ages ago, I don't.
She's a competitor.
I think I did a movie. It may have been called Banning with Robert Wagner. And Robert Wagner has played a guy, he figured out how he could beat the system in a race car.
How?
I just finish every race in the top 10, and I win.
Oh, you know what? They were doing that, weren't they?
Yeah.
Especially last year.
If you finish the races in the top 10, you win. You don't have to ever win a race, you just have to finish. You have to finish every race and finish every race in the top 10, and that was the whole theory. And what's funny, they moved the same plot, because basically Universal tends to use the same plots a lot. When he did his series, They Takes a Thief, they did the very same thing in an episode where he's a rookie out there for the season, and he's out of his league, and they told him, this thing, don't wreck the car, don't pass anybody, just stay, just follow our driver and you'll finish, and that's all they did. Yeah, but
that's what they're doing in real life.
They're doing it in real life. They're not supposed to do teaming up, because they do teaming up, they block for cars and things like that. They said, everybody knows that Dale Earnhardt was killed because he was blocking for his teammate. He was blocking, and the guy in front made a mistake. And Earnhardt was basically watching, I think he was probably watching the car behind him, which was his teammate, and didn't correct fast enough, and then he basically flipped himself, which is not a real fun thing to go flying through the air at a zillion miles an hour. So, but that's what we're doing. And also, we've got lots of other things. We're not a spring chicken is hoping to go to the royal wedding. So, yeah, we don't know about that one yet. She's hoping to.
And you're all like, I'm hoping to too. Yeah. You can watch it on TV.
Yeah, so they said, how can you afford all of this? Well, God, we can't. So we can't.
We're hoping.
We're hoping, because as everybody knows, online is not a great source of revenue, folks. And that some sizes, some of the things we do well, and some of the things we don't do well. And so the things that we do well basically are not associated with doing the things that she wants to do, which is go to the royal wedding and cover it. Cannes Film Festival could work.
That could work.
You can go out on the beach and interview people on the beach in a swimsuit, but and get a lot of attention. But a lot of things, we're going to sort of be doing the lifestyles of the real rich and famous. We're talking the real rich and famous and the nobility. So, we gotta.
And you know what? I don't think there's ever been a show done about that.
Yeah, we're gonna be touring. We're gonna hit the royals in Europe, and we're gonna be doing some cooking, and we're gonna be doing some because what people understand is most of the royals in Europe don't have any money. I mean, we got Prince.
Actually, lifestyles of the rich and famous is lifestyles of the nobility.
Lifestyles of the nobility. So, and like I said, there's a difference, because I know people over there, I have family members that basically they live in a small cottage on a massive estate. The estate is basically owned by the government. Remember the historical trust, and they basically get to live on the property that they used to own. Yeah, because there's no money. I mean, I know one lord has got a hole in he's got a big, massive hole in the thatched roof of his manor, and he hasn't got the money to fix it, so he tarps it, which is really not the world's greatest thing for the tourists to see. But if thatched roof can cost $100,000, a minimum of $100,000 of American money.
That's a lot of money.
And they don't have that kind of money, so.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. So, and then the tourism is no longer a big deal in many places in Europe. So a lot of what